Toastmasters International is a nonprofit organization that has helped millions around the globe build confidence with public speaking. Since 1924, our Learn by Doing program will give you improved communication, public speaking, and leadership skills, all while building confidence for your next big presentation, whether it's in person or online. From those looking to change the world to those just looking to give a boost to their career, we know how to help. Build confidence in you. Visit toastmasters.org/find to connect with one of our over 16,000 clubs, meeting online or in person.
Thank you very much, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and our visitors. Tonight is our last meeting for the year, and what a year it has been. My name is Vinta Krupe, and I am the Sergeant at Arms. My role is very simple. My role is to call this meeting to order. All our role players, as we have seen, are in the house besides one. It is 18:01 on my side. I am now officially handing over the reins to our interim president. While I do that, I ask that you please ensure that you are muted unless you are called to the virtual podium. Please minimize disruptions while the speakers are on the virtual podium. Madam Interim President, I now give reins to you. Thank you.
Toastmasters, visitors, and guests. My name is Sibongile Mtsweni, and today I am the interim president in the absence of our president, Dr. Sibongiseni. Visionary Readers is a book reading club in Toastmasters. Our mission is to see a bigger television in every household in Africa, the other way around, a bigger bookshelf in every household in Africa than the television set that they have. Please welcome, enjoy, have fun with us. We are here every second and fourth Friday of the month. You are welcome to join us in any of our meetings. And yeah, our theme today, okay, I'll leave that to the Toastmaster of the evening. I would like to introduce our Toastmaster of the evening, our very own homegrown, homebrewed, Noluthando Mokoena. She just finished her second level of her pathway, and now she is ready to take on the Toastmaster of the evening role. Over to you, Noluthando.
Thank you so much, Madam Acting President, for the warm welcome. I really appreciate the opportunity to take on this role today, and I'm really hoping that all the members and guests will have an exciting evening full of energy, because it's a Friday. And thank you so much for painting just a tiny picture for us on gratitude, just for touching on that a little bit. As mentioned earlier, so tonight's theme is gratitude in action. Stories of appreciation and kindness. Yes, because gratitude isn't just a feeling we keep inside. It becomes most powerful when we turn it into action. It's actually the small intentional things we do that show appreciation. So when we put gratitude into action, we strengthen relationships and uplift our communities. So as we move on through tonight's meeting, I invite you to notice the moments where you can express appreciation, not just in words, but through meaningful deeds. To introduce myself, my name is Noluthando Mokoena, a proud member of Visionary Readers Club, and I'll be your Toastmaster of the evening. To those that are joining us for the first time, that simply means that I will be your program director. So we have a jam-packed agenda tonight. We'll have an introductory section where all the role players supporting me during this meeting will introduce themselves. Then we'll have the prepared speeches where we'll see our fellow Toastmasters continue to overcome their fear of public speaking and honing their speaking skills. We also look forward to table topics later on. And lastly, the feedback, because here at Toastmasters, breakfast is the feedback of champions, or rather for visionary readers, dinner is the feedback of champions. Once again, fellow Toastmasters, visitors, and guests, welcome to a great evening ahead, and just let's bring the energy. So without further ado, I would like to call on our general evaluator, Erica McKay, to introduce herself and her team.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. What a pleasure to be here with Visionary Readers today. Right, I'd love to introduce my team. So first up, we have a few people, so I'm very grateful. So I've got gratitude that I've got people to support us today. First up, I'd like to call our grammarian, Sibongile, to the stage. Sibongile, come and tell us your role today, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am back again on the screen, and tonight I will be your grammarian. As a grammarian, I would be looking at the usage of the English language. As we all know, most of us in Africa, English is not our first language, and we tend to use clutch words when we speak English, because that's when we are translating from our mother tongue into the English language. The clutch words I'll be specifically looking for are a, and repeat words, which is and, so, any other repeat words, or the most famous one that I've seen recently is when people start their sentence with so. Back to you, General Evaluator of the evening.
Thank you, Sibongile. Before you go, do we have a word of the day today?
Oh, yes. How do I forget that I'm not just policing the English language, but I've got the word of the day, which is veneration. Veneration means a feeling of profound respect for someone or something. Synonyms that you can use for renovation is reverence, respect, adoration. How you use the word, you can say, I had the utmost veneration for the Toastmaster of the evening for being so brave to take up the role for the first time tonight. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sibongile. Next up, we have our R counter, Niels. Niels, do you want to introduce your role, please?
Greetings, Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters and guests. So the purpose of the R counter is to spot any pause words or filters that we do as we translate our words from our mother tongue to our speech language. As a South African, and as we all know, we have 11 official languages in South Africa. So it is a tricky job, but I will be here trying to help you along with any words that can have improvement or any repeated words that I can spot, just so that we can know that you are improving and that you are looking to not just jump from ums or oohs or ahs, but have purpose in your words, in your sentences, and in your paragraphs. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Niels. Fantastic. Right. We also have today our timer. Siboniso, do you want to come and share your role with us today, please?
Good evening, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and visitors. My role today is simple. I'm the timer. So as a timer, I will be timing the table topics, formal speeches, and evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they are remaining with. I will also show the card of different colors. When you're within your time, I will show green. Let me just demonstrate that. Make sure that we are able, okay. So within time, I will demonstrate by green. Are you able to see that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Then let's say in between, I will also show yellow. And then when it's almost time up, I'll demonstrate by red. Okay, so let me go out. All right, so table topics. Speakers should limit their speeches to 2 minutes. Hence, at 1 minute, I'll show by green, and then 2 minutes, 1 minute and 30 seconds, I will raise yellow, and then at 2 minutes, I will raise red card. Those giving speeches should limit their remarks to the time given specifically. Icebreakers, their speeches should be 4 to 6 minutes, but today we don't have any icebreaker speech, so we won't have to to show those ones. And then most other speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes length. At 5 minutes, I will show the card green. At 6 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. So today we have a toast speech, which is limited to 4 minutes. So at 3 minutes, I will raise the green. At 3.5, I will raise the yellow. And at 4, I will raise the red card. Table topics will go for 10 minutes. And at 3 minutes, I will raise the green card. And then at 5 minutes, I will raise the yellow. At 10 minutes, I will raise the red card. Okay, evaluators as well should give their remarks and not more than 3 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes, I will raise the yellow. At 3 minutes, the red card. The grammarian as well will have 4 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green. At 3 minutes, I will raise the yellow. And at 4 minutes, I will raise the red card. The counter should give their speech for 1 to 3 minutes. At 1, I will raise the green. 2 minutes, I will raise the yellow. And at 3, I will raise the red card. So the general evaluator, the last one, should give their speech from 2 to 6 minutes. Hence, at 2 minutes, I will raise the green. At 4 minutes, I will raise the yellow. 6 minutes, I will raise the red card. Okay, and please note that everyone has got a grace period, of 30 seconds, time added to their time given. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Back to you.
Thank you, Siboniso. Thank you. You're going to be super busy timing us today. Lastly, just to share my general evaluator role, I will not only be marshalling the people who are giving us feedback, but also just evaluating the meeting in general. So I'll be sharing my feedback at the end of the meeting, because at Toastmasters, we evaluate everything. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator and the team. I'm truly inspired. We're going to swiftly move on to the next part of our program, which is the prepared speeches. I will start by introducing the evaluator for the first speech, that is Pindile Nonyane. Pindile will be evaluating Tumelo Matlako. Pindile, may you kindly introduce the first speaker as well as the speech criteria?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Okay, I'll be evaluating speaker number 1. She is Tumelo Matlaku, and she is going to be writing a speech or presenting a speech with a purpose. And the purpose of this project, it is to learn to review a basic method for writing a speech with a defined purpose, and to present a well-organized speech of her choice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pindile. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Tumelo Matlaku, Gratitude with Receipts. Gratitude with Receipts, Tumelo Matlaku.
Okay, I see that she requested to be the second speaker. She has to restart a laptop. I'm not sure if she's ready yet.
Yes, can I please be the second speaker? My laptop is still acting up.
Okay, no problem. I guess we will move on to Gustav. Mpendulo, up next, I will introduce you, the second speech now the first speech evaluator, Mpendulo Dlamini. Mpendulo, Mpendulo will be evaluating Gustav Janssen. Mpendulo, please introduce our first speaker as well as the speech criteria.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Greetings, Toastmasters, as well as visitors and guests. Today, I will be evaluating Christoph. Christoph, his pathway would be engaging humor. Christoph would be delivering his second project under level 1. His speech title states as follows: My Next Big Flop. The purpose of his project, is to practice using vocal variety as well as body language to enhance his speech delivery. My expectations during his speech would be to ensure that he presents a well-organized speech on his topic. And I will also be paying attention to his usage of intentional gestures as well as vocal variety. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Mpendulo. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Gustav Janssen, my next big flop. My next big flop, Gustav Janssen.
December, guys. I love December. The festive seasons. Everyone's friendlier and merrier. You know, Christmas is upon us, and so is the new year. The new year. New you. New beginnings. Those New Year's resolutions. I wonder how those will turn out. Yeah, resolutions have never really worked for me or anyone else that I've spoken to. Anyways, I was reflecting this festive season on the mistakes I've made in my life. The flops, the blunders, the slip-ups, the mishaps. Has anyone here ever been through one of those? You know, one of those moments you just feel like... What's the opposite of having veneration for myself? You just feel like you hate yourself. Mistakes, I mean, they can have that effect. I remember when I was in preschool, before grade 1, having some of my first drawing experiences. I remember drawing my mom's arms on her legs, and when the teacher tried to correct me, I burst out in tears. Don't ask me why. Later, I had another terrible drawing experience where I burst out in tears again because I couldn't finger paint a bunny perfectly. I put a lot of pressure on myself back then, and it's followed me throughout my life. And I've developed these two sides of myself. You know, part of myself that puts a lot of pressure on myself, and then a part of myself that's like super rebellious. Why that's like that? That answer probably has that question probably has 1,000 correct answers to it. I don't know why it's like that, but I think what's more important to me is how much influence do I have on how I perceive my mistakes. And we'll get into that a bit later. Back to my horrible drawing experiences. I mean, art became this terrible monster to me in primary school. And then, as I mentioned, I started rebelling against it. You know, I started coloring out of the lines on purpose. My teachers would shout at, "You're not allowed to color outside of the lines." That's so fun. Coloring out of the lines does that to a person. You know, that started to develop into other sort of rebellious, scholarly expressions, if I can call it that. I nearly got expelled from primary school for drawing a comic. Please don't ask me what the contents of that comic was. The minds of a teenager, you know. Anyways, to skip that quickly. Now I realize that these blunders, mishaps, mistakes have actually formed critical parts of who I am. I think coloring outside of the boxes, no matter what other people said, has actually turned me into a very creative, out-of-the-box thinker. No, I still can't draw to save my life. Literally, if I had to draw to save my life, I would die. But our blunders and our mishaps being so essential to our growth, why do we have this malperception of them? As I said earlier, that question probably has 1,000 correct answers. And it's something each of you would probably need to reflect on. In preparation for this speech, I did a little bit of reading, brief academic reading. I just want to, who's the timekeeper? Never mind, I'll see it on the screen, never mind. Okay, so to get back to, sorry about that. I did a bit of academic reading to prepare for this speech. And I read a study out of China and out of Italy. So the study out of China from Dr. Zhao and his team basically showed that the way you treat yourself and the way you perceive your errors are directly correlated. Those two things are linked. He did this study within a workplace environment where they showed that employees who were treated benevolently had better self-development patterns than employees who were treated malevolently. And the Italian study basically showed that you can't always avoid feeling negative about failure. So no matter how you reframe it, failure in a certain context will always have a negative feeling associated with it. However, you do have a say in how that negative feeling expresses itself and how much negative feeling you feel regarding failure by contextualizing your failure, seeing it in the bigger picture. All the studies basically agree on one thing. Failure is vital to self-growth. Failure is vital to self-growth. Failure is heat. So depending on what environment it's in, it's either going to forge or burn. That's what the Chinese study showed, that the environment of failure is extremely important. So I just want to end off my speech convincing people, reminding people to be playful this festive season. Play seriously with your mistakes. And just ask yourself, reflect yourself, what is the context of your failures? Is it really that bad? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, thank you, Gustav. Can everybody please unmute and let's give Gustav a round of applause, please?
Whoop, whoop. Well done.
Thank you. Yes, well done. Thank you so much for the powerful reminders, Gustav. I always enjoy your speeches. I appreciate your personal stories that you like to share, as well as the research that you even applied to your speech. So next, the evaluator for our last speech evaluator is Nyasha Mpofu. Nyasha will be evaluating Toastmaster Zinhle Groepe. Nyasha, please introduce our fourth speaker with the evaluation report.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Kindly confirm that I am audible.
You are audible, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and invited guests. Tonight, I have the privilege of evaluating a speaker who will be delivering a speech in the timing regime to 3 to 4 minutes, and that is Toastmaster Nolutando. They will be speaking from the Deliver Social Speeches project. This is their second speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice delivering social speeches in front of club members. With a speech entitled, "The Clock Outran My Heart," help me welcome to the virtual podium Toastmaster Zinhle.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nyasha. Thank you, Toastmaster Nyasha. I really love the speech titles today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Zinhle Groepe. The clock outran my heart. The clock outran my heart, Zinhle Groepe.
He sat quietly at the edge of my bed that night. At the time, I was going through what I call my darkest hour. Sick, couldn't move. I was literally in a place where defeat was overtaking my faith and my hope. He listened to me quietly, with conviction in his voice. And all he said was, "Remember the story of Job." Puzzled as I was at that moment, I'm thinking, with all the crying and the frustration that I just demonstrated, and all this man is going to say is, "Remember the story of Job?" Who is Job? All he said was a simple, "Remember the story of Job." With just those 4 words, when I realized what he was doing, it dawned on me that this man was handing power back into my hands. A man of very few words, but very impactful. I took time to go read the story of Job for the first time that day. Despite having come from a Christian background, one would think that you are supposed to know the story of Job because it is told over and over and over and over again. When I went to read the story of John, I realized that my uncle, Simpiwe Smaile, was teaching me resilience, faith, and hope at a time of despair. As I said earlier, I was feeling defeated. I had lost hope. I had lost faith because how dare God take me through so much pain? Why me? Those are the kind of questions that he helped me answer that particular day. A man of very few words, but very impactful. When I was about to write the speech, I did my due diligence and wanted to find out more about his history or his childhood. My mom tells me with so much laughter that one of the most memorable moments for her was when my late uncle, one day he decides to be a typical teenage boy, steals car keys from my late grandparents. But before that could happen, that particular night, my late grandparents were drunk themselves. So as he tried to steal this key from them, my late grandfather started yelling. So there was a whole yelling contest in the house that woke everybody up. I swear from what my mom was sharing, that moment deserved an Oscar award on its own. That spoke about the kind of person that he was. Though very quiet and a man of very few words, he was a very curious person. My mom also shares that when he was born on the 3rd of July, 1974, his path was defined right from the beginning because at that moment, doctors, because of his severe asthma, declared that he would not live past the age of 3. But my uncle, Simpiwe Semaile, Simpiwe, which means gifted to us, a gift that he was to us and his parents, and of course his siblings. He defied the odds by living beyond the 3 years right into his manhood. She also shares that one of the moments that she remembers which could have taken his life was when they had stolen something. I remember properly, she said it was tin fish. They stole tin fish as typical teenagers. When they stole this tin fish, there was some oil that was left on their hands. So in an attempt to go get rid of this oil on their hands, they went to a nearby dam. Him and his friend washed their hands. In that moment, something crept out, or seemingly crept out of the water and pulled him in. And he almost drowned in that moment, and he was saved by his friends. Again, he defied the odds of death. One of the fondest moments I have about him, unbelievable in fact, was when my uncle, who we had known as a drunkard till that moment, literally every single second weekend when he got paid, he would come back home, clothes gone, stolen, because with his pay, he'd go buy alcohol, get drunk wherever, and because he had bought new clothes on that particular day, he would be stripped off by the thugs at the tavern every single time. I kid you not. Every single second weekend of the month, we knew there was something to laugh about. But if there was one thing about him that we learned in his life, was that change is indeed constant. And it's not over ever until God or the powers that may be say it's over. Because the moment I relate to that was very memorable and unbelievable was the day my uncle decided to get married. We were shocked. The drunkards that we grew to know, getting drunk, let alone telling us that he had found Jesus and accepted Jesus as his Lord and Savior, and he was a saved man. And indeed, he did change his ways and became a better version of himself, a better father, a better sibling. He was in a process of finding himself. And when he said, I do, in that moment, I saw transformation in his eyes. I saw the powers that he believed in at work in that moment because, as I said, this is a man we had hardly thought would ever take a stand to commit and walk down that aisle. At the time of his passing, myself and my mother traveled to the Eastern Cape with the hope that we will catch him before his last days. And what I had wished to say in that last moment, which I did not get a time to, was remember the story of John. But the clock outran my heart. Yet I celebrate his strength, his resilience, and his faith. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening.
Wow, well done. Can everybody give Zinhle a round of applause? Thank you, Toastmaster Zinhle, for always giving us such impactful speeches that move us. You never fail to make us think on a Friday evening. So we will move on to our third speaker. Toastmaster Mpendulo, I believe he had already introduced the first speaker. No, sorry, it was Toastmaster Pindile Nonyane. So without wasting any more time, I would like to welcome Tumelo Matlaku with a speech titled Gratitude with Receipts. Gratitude with Receipts, Tumelo Matlaku.
Thank you very much. Apologies for the technical difficulties, but we can get straight onto it. Eckhart Tolle once wrote, acknowledging the good that you already have is your life, the foundation for all in abundance. Beautiful words, until life hits you so hard that you forget what good even feels like. A very good evening to you all, visionary readers and esteemed guests. Tonight, I promise you, I'm not here to frustrate you like how my laptop has been frustrating me the past few minutes, or emotionally rearrange your insides until you cry. No, tonight, I intend to give you receipts because gratitude is real, and so are the tears we confidently just say, just allergies. I want to take you back to my moment, the day kindness ambushed me so unexpectedly, it rebooted my whole entire emotional system. I was outside the office crying the way a Wi-Fi buffers during load shedding, frozen, confused, questioning every life decisions like a grade 3. Why? Because a boss had spoken to me in such a tone so sharp that it cut my self-esteem in half. You know that kind of meeting where the words are very professional. However, the tone is spiritually violent. So there I was, trying to breathe, trying to process, trying to decide if I should quit immediately or cry until HR senses the drama. All those thoughts and self-debate was short-lived until a colleague came up to me. And instead of asking the usual office questions like, what happened, or just be strong, she looked up to me and said, I'm so sorry, Dumi, you're going through this. And please remember, you still have so much to offer in this team. Don't let this moment define you. And that was it. Not just the TED Talk, not a 2-hour counseling session, just a simple human moment. And suddenly I realized something so powerful, that a workplace isn't automatically toxic. Sometimes it's just a few moments, a few words, a few wounds, not just the whole environment. That day, gratitude didn't arrive holding flowers. It arrived holding proof, evidence, receipts. The kind that says, yes, today was rough, but look, someone cared. Someone saw you. Someone reminded you of your worth. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the heartbeat of tonight's message. Tonight, gratitude isn't about pretending that everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging the moments that kept you going where everything wasn't. Have you ever noticed that we humans treat negative moments or comments like VIP seats? We roll out the red carpet for them. We give them front row seats in our minds. We replay them like on big screens as if it's a personal Netflix special. But what about the good moments, ladies and gentlemen? Those encouraging words, those small acts of kindness, the colleague who checks up on you, that friend who messages you and asks, did you eat, my friend? The partner who reminds you of your word, those moments, they show up gently, quietly, and because they're soft, we ignore them. And here's the truth. Gratitude doesn't whisper because it's rude. It whispers because it's wise. It reminds us to look again, look deeper, look within honesty and heart. And in the spirit of honesty, I would like to say I've realized I've collected the wrong receipts. Receipts for pain, receipts for heartbreak, for every moment someone said to me something that broke me. And what about the receipts for healing? For the ones that lift us up? For the days that you survived? For the growth that I never even noticed? We have to start collecting receipts of gratitude the same way we collect screenshots of a spicy message or an item you want to buy. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I challenge you to become an accountant of appreciation, auditors of joy, tax specialists of emotional abundance. Because when we gather our gratitude, when we live our real, lived messy gratitude, we realize something life changing. We've already survived more than we give ourselves credit for. And when I look back on that day outside of the office, I do not remember that humiliation anymore. I remember that human being who reminded me that I still matter. That moment, that very moment became my receipt. That evidence that even in rough seasons, goodness was still present. And that's what gratitude truly is about. Not pretending that life is perfect, not ignoring stress, not forcing positivity. Gratitude is the ability to say, yes, it was rough, but something good also happened. And I refuse to let that moment of darkness erase the light of another. Gratitude with receipts is the gratitude you can prove, a gratitude you can visit, a gratitude you can stand on. Fellow visionary readers and esteemed guests, I leave you with this. Life will test you. It will surely challenge you. Situations will shake you. But for every moment that breaks you, there will always be a moment that builds you. There will always be somebody who sees you. There will always be a word that lifts you, a reminder that you are more than what hurt you. So collect your gratitude, document it, save it, archive it, screenshot it, hold it close, because those receipts will carry you through seasons you didn't think you'd survive. And when life tries you again, because it will, you can stand tall, look at it dead and say, I've been blessed before, I'll be blessed again. So try me again, unkind world, because I'm here to collect receipts of gratitude. I thank you.
Wow, thank you, Toastmaster Dumelo. Can we please give Dumelo a round of applause? Let's send those emojis or unmute your mics. Thank you so much for all the gems you dropped, Dumelo, on gratitude. I think that was well delivered. I always love it, when people bring out the receipts. But anyway, I hope you're ready because next is you again as our last speech evaluator. So Dumelo once again will be evaluating Huda Guasera. So, Dumelo, could you kindly introduce our last speaker as well as the speech criteria?
Thank you, madam, for the introduction. Yes, as I introduce the third speaker, ladies and gentlemen, our speaker is Kuda Kwasera. He's presenting his fourth project in level 1 of the presentation mastery pathway. The purpose of this project is for Kuda to share his speech and receive feedback that will help him grow as a speaker. His speech will run between 5 to 7 minutes, and I will be focusing on his speaking style, the organization of his topic, and his overall delivery. Kuda has the freedom to speak in any style he chooses, informal, humorous, or impactful. So we can really expect a presentation that reflects his personality. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Kuda as he presents his topic for this evening, Identity Today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tumelo. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Kuda Kwasera, Identity Today. Identity Today, Kuda Kwasera.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, Noluthando, and a pleasant evening once again to you all fellow Toastmasters. My name is Kuda Kwasera and I represent Challengers Toastmasters Club. I'm not sure if my speech is really a reflection of my personality, but well, when we talk about identity, I think it's a topic that we are all familiar with. Before I dive in to my speech about identity, I will start maybe with a question. What comes to mind when I talk about identity? What comes to mind when I talk about identity? Can I have 3 colleagues from the floor, the virtual meeting, just to share a bit about what comes to mind when you hear the word identity? I may not be able to see a hand, so please feel free to just unmute and share. The reflection that comes to mind when you first hear the word, when you hear the word identity.
Self-perception.
Yes.
Belonging.
Self-perception. Belonging, wonderful. Who am I? So identity, ladies and gentlemen, is a complex term. There is the inner self, how I see myself as. There is how I'm seen by the community, the family, and those around me. When I hear identity, for example, if I hear identity, I think about the South African beads, the South African culture. I think about the Polish garments, the Polish culture. You think about the Chinese cuisine. All these form part of what we term identity. If you are to be veneration in any way, it has to be about how people identify you as, how people see you as. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring to your attention something that captured my attention, something that moved me this past week. I saw a headline and it was saying, for you to get a visa into the United States of America, they need 5 years of your social media history. 5 years of your social media history. What's your take on that? How do you see that? 5 years of your social media history. I was quite moved, and for me, I had a lot of mixed feelings. All right, that's the first. Secondly, I saw another headline, and it was saying Australia has banned teens from social media up to around 16 years. That was a shocker. Why would Australia be putting such a law around social media? Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to bring to your attention the concept of digital identity. Digital identity today is more important than ever. It's something we need to be more mindful of. Before, when in my younger days, in my teen days, social media, Facebook was the first social media we got to experience, and then there was Mixit, for those who remember. It was just a place where you go, you share whatever comes to mind. Not how you identify as such, but that other side. But now, when we have uploaded so much content, and there's so many algorithms that are there now, your comments, your pictures, your posts, all of these are being analyzed and they define who you are. But do they really? Food for thought. Ladies and gentlemen, now more than ever, you need to be jealous with your digital identity. You need to be more conscious of what you share online, especially for the family. If you've got children, if you've got dependents. Now you find that most of these phishing attacks, most of these people who steal digital identities, counterfeits, they're taking social media content and they're creating videos, deepfakes, various things. To sum up my topic today, if you are to be respected, if you are to be venerated, as you progress career-wise and as we interact in social and professional circles, please take more time to be conscious about your digital identity. Fellow Toastmasters, I thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Wow, well done, Kuda. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kuda, for your insightful speech. I really enjoyed how you interacted. So, thank you everyone for tonight's speeches, and well done to all the speakers tonight. I'm filled with so much
Hi, Sisi,
veneration.
can I get back to you, Mrs. Meeting in I'm going to look for the late after 8.
Pindile, I think your mic is on. I was just saying that I am filled with so much veneration for all our speakers this evening. Well done once again. Next, I'm going to call on Madam Timer, Sboniso Moyo, to report on the times for the speeches. Thanks, Sboniso.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to give the report for the speakers. The first speaker, Tumelo, had 5 minutes to 7 minutes, and she spoke for 5 minutes, 46 seconds. And the second speaker, Gustav, had 5 to 7 minutes. He spoke for 7 minutes, 34 seconds. The third speaker, Kuda Gwasera, he had 5 to 7 minutes, and he spoke for 5 minutes, 51 seconds. The fourth speaker, Zinhle, had 3 minutes to 4 minutes, and she spoke for 8 minutes, 30 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Timer, for that report. So, just on the topic of gratitude, a fun fact is that writing down what you're grateful for, maybe 3 things that you're grateful for each day, may seem simple, but it's actually one of the most powerful habits for emotional balance, growth, and inner peace. So, I challenge everybody today that maybe tonight, please, before going to bed, instead of scrolling on your phone or whatever you do before bed, try maybe just writing down or saying out loud 3 things that you are grateful for. And those of us who believe in manifestation and abundance know that gratitude actually, that's how you attract the things that you want in your life. So I see that we are within time, and according to our agenda, it's time for a break. So I'm going to ask for us to just everyone to break for 5 minutes. It is now almost 18:57. If we could kindly be back, let's say 7:02. Thanks, everyone. We will adjourn for a break.
Thank you so much, Madam President. I will take over the session. Anyone who's not going to stand up, stretch their legs and get something to drink, and who is willing to talk to me, let me see, who can I talk to? Mtwazi Kopotso, hi. Or should I rather play music, guys, in this
Again, I'm not going anywhere.
Hi, Bonnie. How are you doing taking the timer role for the very first time? How do you feel?
Hopefully, I'm doing the right thing.
Of course you are. Of course you are. Don't worry. In a matter of 2, 3 meetings, you'll probably be a pro.
From crawling, a child learns to walk.
That's perfectly fine. Remember, Toastmasters is a safe platform for you to be able to do exactly that. Dumelo, Madame, how are you feeling about being an evaluator for the very first time?
I'm actually a bit relieved that I am, challenging myself because I'm usually so much in my corner. So yeah, it feels good actually. And looking forward for the lessons that I'm yet to learn.
You know what I'm most grateful for? Now, this is gratitude in motion on my side, is that every time I push you, and not just you, Dumelo, but Siboniso, Nolutando, you guys, you allow me to push you. And for that, I am truly, truly grateful that, there is not much resistance. I mean, Gustav is there, Niels, who took the R counter for the very first time, but I will wrap it up later at the end just to thank all of the members who took roles for the very, very first time. And you guys are so seamless in doing it.
Thank
Okay,
you for
let
the
me
push.
see who.
Appreciate
You are most welcome. Who do I talk to? Ndozi, hello. There's Sarah Leah. Oh, I'm not going to attempt saying that surname just in case I butcher it. Sarah Leah, hi.
All good. All good.
How are
Hello.
you?
I am very well, thank you. I'm delighted to visit your club for the first time. I am from Westlake Toastmasters, same club as your general evaluator for tonight. So it's just been wonderful to listen to some amazing speeches and yeah, take some seeds of gratitude into the weekend. So thank you.
Can I put a spinner in the how does the saying go again? Put a spinner in the wheel or something like that. Can I challenge you, Sarah Leah?
Yeah, go ahead.
We had our table topics. Master, send us an apology mid the meeting. And the next session is table topics.
Okay.
Will you honor
Sure.
us by being the table topics master? I can send you
Sure.
something
Give
that's
me
already
2 minutes to
prepared.
think about it. Okay.
I can send you something
Go
that's
ahead.
already prepared.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm going to
Wonderful.
send it to Erica, and then Erica will send it to you.
Okay,
Would that
fantastic.
work?
No problem.
Perfect.
That will
Thank you
work.
so much. Now, that is being a Toastmaster and accepting challenges and on the spot. All
That's what
right.
Toastmasters is about, right?
Yep, true. Okay, I'm sending through. Okay, Madam SAA, are you readying yourself? Erica,
Yes.
I've sent through the table topics handout. If you can please pass it through to Sarah Lee.
All done.
It is 7:02. I hope everyone is back already. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. It is indeed an exciting meeting with all the beautiful speeches. I do hope and pray that the next segment will also get us in the mood for the celebratory meeting. Madam Toastmaster of the evening, I call this meeting back to order and hand the reins back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam SAA. Thank you, everyone. So now we're moving on to our exciting table topics. So our table topics master for tonight is Sarah Lee. Apologies. Sarah Lee Pimentel. She has, volunteered to take over the table topics for tonight. Did you receive the brief that was prepared, Sarah? Sarah Lee?
Yes, I
Or
have.
not
Yes, I
yet?
have.
Okay.
I have, yes.
Okay then. So yes, so we're going to introduce you to please start with the table topics, and the stage is yours.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And as I said earlier, just during the break, just really, really happy to be with all of you this evening. I believe I have about 10 minutes. Is that correct? Okay. And with that, I don't know any of you. So hopefully we'll get a good mix this evening of speakers who are put onto their imaginary toes to think off the cuff and speak unprepared for 1 to 2 minutes. So, with that, I am going to start by asking if there are any volunteers who would like to take the first table topic.
I will
Okay,
volunteer. I'll be the
Sibongile.
first one.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Sibongile. So, if gratitude were a currency, what would you spend on it? What would you spend it on first? So, in other words, if gratitude were a currency, what would you spend it on first?
If gratitude were a currency, I would most definitely spend it on acknowledging and giving reverence and veneration to my late mother. I would thank her for her perseverance, for being love in motion in the short time that she lived on planet Earth. You see, my mother was a single parent of 4 kids, and unfortunately, she passed away at a tender age of 37. But in those years, she gave so much love and so much wisdom that it still ripples in every interaction, in every encounter that I have with different people from different walks of life. So if gratitude was a currency, that is exactly where I would spend it. Perhaps also into a phone call to heaven, just to tell her in person, or for her to hear my voice when I say thank you. And also for giving me the name Sibongile means gratitude. Thank you, Table Topics Master of the evening.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sibongile, and especially for that wonderful veneration of your mom, who I can sense is very, very dear to you. I see that there is a hand in Gustav. Does that mean that you want to take on our next table topic? Gustav, can I call upon you?
I was just clapping, but I would be happy to speak.
Wonderful. So my question for you, Gustav, if you could write a thank you letter to the future, what would it say? If you could write a thank you letter to the future, what would it say, Gustav?
The year is 2100. That's almost exactly 74 years from now, 76 years from now, if my maths isn't that bad. I picture the year 2100, a time where AI is integrated into everything. We probably have cables or chips running from our brains into little processors and Apple computers strapped onto our backs. Everyone is super intelligent. The year 2100. Everyone's looking back, I would assume, super intelligent human beings. And maybe laughing at some of the utter stupidity going on nowadays. If we just look at the chicanery of our politicians and, you know, some of the very questionable things we do to our fellow human beings. So I would write in my thank you letter, "Dear future, thank you for being smart enough, in brackets, even though it took AI, to be kind to one another." Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gustav. I sense that you are a fan of AI and that you hope that it can help us to become better people
I hope so.
with
I hope
time.
so.
So
I
may
hope
your
so.
letter to the future be wonderful. Thank you very, very much. I am looking at our speakers or our members who are in this meeting today, and I see that there's somebody who doesn't have any other role, which is Kopotso. Could I call on you for a table topics? Kopotso, would you be willing to take one on?
All right, I'm new in the circle. Yes, I'm willing to.
Wonderful. And that is so exciting. Even if you're new, there's always something that you can add to this conversation of gratitude. So my question for you is a really easy one. Who is someone that you hold in veneration and why? Who is someone that you hold in veneration and why?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On the eve of my birthday, which is tomorrow, the 13th of December, I'm reflecting on who am I? what have I gone through in the last 48 years? Where am I at now? And where am I going? Underpinning those questions is who gave birth to me? Of course, my parents did. But before them, who gave birth to them? There are two grandparents that I've never got to see, I've never got to meet. And one is from my paternal side and one is from my maternal side. Both of them I give veneration. My grandfather, late grandfather, passed on the eve of my birth. He's the one that blessed my mother before giving birth, and he later passed on. And because of him passing on, religion, reverence to God has been underpinning my life, and it has become my signboard as a reference to the decision I take and how I treat society. The second late grandparent that I never got to meet is my late grandmother, Renia Tsotetsi, who passed on in her 30s when my father was 16 years old. Of course, I can imagine the pain in my father's eyes every time we would visit my grandmother at the graveside. That pain made me understand that life is precious and life is short. So every day we need to value it. My dad, throughout his life, got to teach me that yes, every day is your last day and tomorrow is a bonus. Because of those teachings, today I've established a business initiative called Kombosho, which means remembrance. I am seeking to take society with me on a quest of giving veneration to every other person who has passed on that has impacted on our lives. And I'm asking and challenging society that we pause, document their stories so that the future generation can celebrate them and have a signpost of values, principles, and how they can impact on society. Legacy lives on through me because my late grandparents blessed me and they inculcated the values of perseverance, hard work. I honor them today and I will honor them tomorrow. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Kopotso. Happy birthday for tomorrow. And just what a beautiful testimony to those who came before you and laid the path on which you walk and will walk into the future. And it's just such an important reminder for all of us. I believe I have time for one more. Is that correct?
Yes, yes,
Madam Timer, will you confirm?
yes. You still have 4 minutes to go.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Siboniso. Are there any other volunteers who would like to take on a table topic this evening? Or is this where I start to pick
We can bring
somebody?
it on. It's okay.
Who? Tumelo. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Tumelo. Here is a question for you. You're both a speaker and you're also an evaluator this evening. So it seems to me that you're a little bit of a mover and a shaker. So my question for you tonight is, if gratitude were a superpower, how would you use it to change the world? If gratitude were a superpower, how would you use it to change the world? Tumelo.
What a question. I'm still thinking how I'm going to structure my answer. But I would say if it were a gratitude, I would, I'm just trying to think what's that word that's going to come into my mind. but more like, I would say, empathy, in a sense where we should give grace to people that are going through a lot of challenges, be it work, your personal situations, especially where there aren't opportunities, trying to understand where people are having their differences from, and how instead of just giving them tough love and being too passive aggressive, just give them grace by trying to understand their point of view. Because I believe in this world, we are living in a world where most people they lack empathy. So that's the superpower I would give to those that would need to give grace to those that are trying with whatever challenges that they don't even seem to applaud themselves for.
Thank you so much, Tamela. And just listening to you speak made me think of that expression. You don't know what someone else is going through until you've walked a mile in their shoes. And it's just a reminder that, perhaps we've been more fortunate or we've had different opportunities to someone else. And if we don't really take that time to really listen to somebody and be empathetic, then we really can't understand the struggles that others go through. So thank you so much for that reminder this evening. And with that, that concludes my role as the Table Topics Master this evening. You all made my job really, really easy. There were questions that were ready prepared for me ahead of time. So thank you to so much for that. And the speakers all provided such deep reflections. And I thank and venerate all of you this evening. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sarah. So seamlessly delivered. And to my fellow club members, would you just look at that? I would have never thought that she was standing in and was ready to deliver that in minutes. This is actually the standard I aspire to in my Toastmasters journey. We also thank those who raise their hands as they sharpen their impromptu speaking skills. And ladies and gentlemen, that was our table topics. We are now going to move on swiftly to the general evaluation part of the program. Thank you, everyone. I would like to hand over now to Madam General Evaluator and her team to handle the evaluation section of our program. Over to you, Erica.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. Well, now let's get some feedback, because this is why we are here, to learn and to grow and to improve. So first, I'm going to ask our speech evaluators to step up and give feedback on the speeches that they heard. And then I will ask my support team to give their feedback on the meeting. So let's start with our first evaluator, Mpendulo, who was evaluating Gustav's speech. Mpendulo, how did Gustav do today?
Thank you, General Evaluator. Christoph, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. So, yeah, my question is, why are you on Toastmasters? Because you're just an incredible speaker and a presenter. So, yeah, and I have so much veneration for you because of that. You are such a good speaker and a storyteller. And I love your approach in terms of your delivery. You treat your speech as more of a conversation than a speech itself. So my main focus during your speech was looking at whether you use intentional hand gestures as well as vocal rarity. And all I can say is that you passed with flying colors. And I also realized that you are a reader, a good one, because you also used some interesting words. Your choice of words, I think they are very interesting. And you also referred to a book to support your speech and in order to build credibility in terms of your speech delivery. In terms of areas of improvement in when it comes to delivering a speech, I would suggest that because during your speech delivery, you don't pay attention to anything else, but you deliver your speech throughout because in the middle of the speech, you somehow got distracted by asking other participants who is the timekeeper. You had us all the way until that point and you lost us somehow, but you also got us back on board as well. I think that's a good thing. That's all I can say. I don't see any areas of improvement. I have this thing of getting only the best speakers to evaluate. I'm hoping to get a less experienced speaker next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mpendulu. Oh, wow. I've never heard an evaluator ask for, can I please have a worse speaker than I got? Right. Next up, we have Nyasha, who was evaluating Zintle's speech. Nyasha, come and tell us how Zintle did today.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. And with your allowance, kindly allow me to deliver my evaluation with my camera off. My camera's not working.
Go for it.
Thank you very much. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, invited guests, and especially to you, Toastmaster Zinhle. I'd like to start by commending you for that recurring motif of remembering the story of Job. Not only does it reference literature outside of the context of your speech, but it adds a depth to the overarching narrative of your story. What was most impactful about that was that it is a social speech. We were able to gauge that it's a eulogy being delivered at a funeral. But even then, you were able to add literary depth that enhanced the overall storytelling of your speech. I'd also like to commend you for the recurring idea of your uncle defying odds. Through all the stories, you wove a complete thread that turned into a basket of what was a tale and a lovely ode to somebody who was passing away. I also would love to highlight the exceptional application of vocal variety. Typically, we understand vocal variety being increasing the volume of your voice, decreasing the speed here and there, but in the way in which you played with it today, the brightness in your voice varied as you changed from a more somber tone to brighter elements as you talked about the joy in your mom's voice as she told you stories of your uncle. To take your speech to the next level, given the circumstances of your social speech, I felt as though the start was rather abrupt. Perhaps there's no need to fully start with the quintessential good evening, ladies and gentlemen, but with a story that was coming in so potently, perhaps a second for the audience to appreciate your presence before the words escaped your mouth. Another point of improvement would be to center yourself at the screen, whether this is on camera or on stage, which you eventually did, ensuring that perhaps prior to actually showing up on screen, perhaps prior to being called up on screen, you prepare your visual presentation. All in all, Toastmaster Zinhle, you excelled at meeting the project objectives, addressed the audience with the sincerity, delicacy, as well as empathy necessary to address a grieving audience, and also gave a wonderful ode to your uncle. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Nyasha, for that great feedback for Zintle. Right, next up, Pindile was evaluating Tumelo's speech. Pindile, how did Tumelo do today?
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. I am glad to announce that Tumelo was presenting her second speech on the Communication Pathway Project 2, and she did very well. I actually venerate the way of delivery and her style of presentation. And Tumelo did well. Firstly, her topic was captivating, and I was really interested to listen to it. And also, the clarity, when she opened the speech, she was so clear, and she used a vocal variety. Her tone was excellent, the speed was also good, and her volume. She improved on her gestures. The fact that she was standing up today, I could see her hands as she was delivering her speech. And to improve, she needs to improve on, I saw her looking up. I know it could be she was thinking, but sometimes it feels like she is not focusing on her audience. And I liked the way she started her speech with a quote. Let me just read the quote that she said. She said, she started her speech with a quote by Eckhart, which says, acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. How wonderful was that to start her speech with such a powerful quote in her topic of gratitude with receipt. And I think that is all for now. She just needs to improve on her looking up, focus on the screen, and focus on your audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pindile. Thank you for that feedback. I now invite Tumelo onto the stage to give us feedback on Kuda's speech. Tumelo, how did Kuda do today?
I'm not impressed. I'm joking. I'm joking. Thank you very much. Kuda, I just want to thank you for reminding us of the social media challenges that we face. You know, often there are people that post, and sometimes it's like you don't know what you're posting for. So that reminder of that identity was worth insightful tonight. I commend you further for engaging us as you asked us about what identity means to us. And in me introducing you that we're going to expect some bit of personality, I picked up that you would be a person that you wouldn't want to sit in a round table just speaking alone. You would want all of us to engage in the conversation. So you captivated me also on raising awareness on information and sharing the stats. You handled your time well, as well as your pauses. Your timing was good. I felt there were moments where in the beginning you were very nervous, but at the end, it didn't let you down fully. But well done and congratulations on achieving your fourth project.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tumelo. Well, that was our speech evaluators today. Thank you guys for sharing with us those great observations. I'm now going to call to the stage, I'm going to start with Niels, actually. Niels, how did we do with our ahs and ums today?
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. First of all, I just want to say well done to everyone. I really do respect and have awe to each and everyone taking the courage and to have the confidence to present their speeches. I just want to quickly say a quote from Dale Carnegie. Only the prepared speaker deserves to be confident. And I could see the confidence in each and every one of you. So well done coming prepared for the speeches. I just want to note on the overarching themes of some of the speakers, especially Zinkle, our fourth speaker, I presume, where she started off with was literally. It was kind of a filler for the story of Job, and the story of Job was mentioned as the overarching theme for quite a few times. I think it would be worthwhile to take a note and pause and to give more context on the story of Job. It was very good, the speech overall, but that story of Job could really just be mentioned once. And I noticed that in Gustav's speech, there was a few times that don't, and ahs and ums were repeated. So just to take a moment of pause and reflection would really help and center ourselves. I really liked how we noted that we need to center ourselves and reflect on what we want to say. So really thanks to all of you. I really appreciated each and everyone's feedback. It was really good. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Niels. Next up, can I ask our grammarian Sibongile, how was our grammar today? How did we do?
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I must say, I was scribbling non-stop with the grammar, the rich grammar that was used today. Let me first start by giving a report on the word of the day. The word of the day was used extensively throughout the meeting, from the prepared speeches all the way to the table topics, and even our evaluators used the word of the day. And I must say, we do have a second runner-up, well, a first runner-up and a second runner-up, and then the winner, apologies. Our first runner-up has to be our table topics master. No, that's our second runner-up. Apologies, I've got three. Second runner-up, our table topics master. First runner-up is Hopotso, who was not even having a prepared speech, who was very new to this platform, and she used the word of the day more than 3 times. And then the winner is our Toastmaster of the evening. Thank you so much. And then in terms of phrases or quotes that caught my eye, or my ear rather, our first speaker, Gustav, with the speech title, My Next Big Flop. Gustav, when you presented your speech, I could see naughty little you sticking your tongue out on the side of your mouth and literally enjoying coloring out of the lines. The words that really interested me in your speech is you said the way you treat yourself and the way you perceive your errors will ultimately define who you are. That was nice. Another word that was nice was benevolently. And you also said failure will always have a negative feeling. I felt that because every time I'm negative, it's not a good feeling. You also said failure is vital to self-growth. And indeed, without failure, you cannot say you have succeeded. Remember Thomas Edison, who failed a million times. Second speaker, Zintle, there was a lot you said, and I know my time is very short, but you said yelling contest, typical teenage boy, Simpiwe, which means gifted to us. That was very interesting. Change is constant, my very favorite quote. And our third speaker, gratitude in receipts. That on its own was very capturing. And the Eckhart Tolle quote, I'm not going to repeat it. The evaluator has already said the quote. You said gratitude is about acknowledging moments that keep you going. That was profound. Small acts of kindness. Gratitude doesn't whisper because it is weak. It whispers because it is wise. That was beautifully said. And our last speaker, Kuda, I loved when you asked the question and you said, what comes to your mind when I say identity, and somebody said self-perception. That was very profound. And you spoke about digital content, defining who we are. We said we must be conscious of what we share with the world out there because it will stay there for the longest of time. In terms of table topics, I'm now running a marathon on this one, or I'm sprinting rather. Table topics all use the word of the day, as I had already said. I loved the questions, beautifully asked. I'm trying to find. Every day is your last day, and tomorrow is a bonus. That was a beautiful quote that I had noted there. If gratitude were a superpower, how would you use it? Okay, that was the question. And there was empathy and passive aggression that I noted there. And our Toastmaster, Table Topics Master said, you don't know what someone is going through until you walk a mile in their shoes. That was my sprint throughout my grammarian report. Madam General Evaluator, I must say, today I experienced gratitude in motions. I heard a lot of stories that filled me with hope and with a sense of wanting to see the world better than what I am experiencing today. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Sibongile, for that very detailed report. So for my General Evaluator report, overall, I just want to congratulate everyone. The meeting started on time. Toastmaster of the day, can I just see, was this your first time being Toastmaster? Oh my goodness.
Yes, it
You nailed it. Absolutely. Your enthusiasm was amazing. You kept us with you. You brought the theme in at every touch point. You kept us to time. I just want to congratulate you. Please be Toastmaster of the day again. You did such an awesome, awesome job. So well done to you. That was really brilliant. I think just some overall feedback to our evaluators. So all our evaluators did a really good job of talking to the purpose of the speech. I think that's quite an important thing that we need to remember. Every now and again, a speaker gets excited and just talks off topic and forgets about the purpose. All our evaluators made sure that our speakers spoke to their topics today. So well done for bringing that up. And all our evaluators today also raised a point for improvement, because it's even when it was difficult, and even when the speaker was super polished, we found something to help them improve. So I just want to congratulate our evaluators on that today. I also want to congratulate our table topic speakers today. These were thought-provoking topics, so they weren't as easy as what's your favorite color, right? They were thought-provoking topics. All our table topics speakers today really came to the fore. There were some tips, like repeating the question while you're thinking, so that was used, and the use of a personal story. I think all our table topic speakers very cleverly wove a personal story into their questions, so well done for doing that. Overall, I just want to say to everyone, a fantastic meeting. I love the fact that where there were changes, Toastmaster of the day, you handled it with ease, you switched things around, it flowed so seamlessly. You got Sarah Leah to step up when there was a change, just really flowed, and for us in the audience, it just felt like a seamless meeting. I'm really happy to end my Toastmasters year with this club. I think I now am just going to end by calling on our timer, my last helper today, Siboniso, who kept us so well on time. How did we do?
Wow, 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 wow. Okay, that was a very great job, and almost everyone was on time. So I'm going to give the report starting from the table topics. So the table topics itself, it ran for 11 minutes. And the first speaker, or the first response from Toastmaster Spongile, she spoke for 1 minute 36. seconds. And Toastmaster Gustav, he spoke for 1 minute 54 seconds. And Toastmaster Kuputso, she spoke for 3 minutes. And the last one, Toastmaster Tumelo, she spoke for 1 minute 12 seconds. Then our evaluators, the first one was Toastmaster Pindile. She spoke for 1 minute, 49 seconds. The second one is Toastmaster Nyasha. She spoke for 2 minutes, 18 seconds. The third evaluator, Toastmaster Pendulo, spoke for 2 minutes, 26 seconds. The last evaluator, Toastmaster Tumelo, she spoke for 1 minute, 12 seconds. Our grammarian, she spoke for 4 minutes, 28 seconds. And then our counter, Toastmaster Neil, she spoke for 1 minute, 56 seconds. And the general evaluator, Madam Erica, you spoke for 4 minutes, 56 seconds. Thank you so much. That's my report for it.
Thank you so much, Siwaniso, and thank you to all my support team today. I now gratefully hand over to our stand-in president, Sibongile.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. Before I come in, I would like to give to our Toastmaster of the evening in case she's got any closing remarks, just so she can ease out of this role officially. Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Madam Acting President. I don't have any closing remarks prepared. I just went by the agenda, but thank you so much for the opportunity. And thank you so much to all the speakers. It was a very inspiring meeting. And yeah, everybody just have happy holidays. And yeah, this was the last one for the year. All the best to everyone for 2026 in their Toastmasters journey.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like for us to please just open our videos and our mics and let's give a round of applause to the following people. Nolutando, who was our Toastmaster of the evening. These people are taking the roles for the very, very first time. Siboniso, who was our timer. Well done. And we also had Dumelo, who was an evaluator for the very first time. Well done, Dumelo. We also had Niels, who was an counter. Niels is our newest member, and he hasn't even presented his icebreaker as yet, and already he has taken a role in a meeting. Well done to everyone for ensuring that we have a quality meeting at Toastmasters and for actually taking your investment personally and ensuring that you reap the return of investment that you have made at Toastmasters. Without wasting time, I see we are doing well on time. I want to speak to, I think, Hopoto, I know you have already spoken, but if I can just speak to you again. Who invited you at Toastmasters and when are you joining us? Hopoto, are you still there?
Thank you for the question. I guess this is my early birthday present. The person who invited me is the person I have a veneration for, which is Pindile Nonyani. She's been very dedicated to my personal development, and I just want to thank her very much and acknowledge her for inviting me here. She's dedicated to humanity, and may her conviction to help society be fueled. Thank you. Moving forward,
Thank
I'll
you.
be quite keen to be part of the team as part of self-development. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just one last question before I let you go, Kgopuso. What stood out for you in this meeting?
What stood out for me is courage. We often second guess ourselves, and in in doubting ourselves, doubt kind of mutes our voices, and we feel like we don't have anything to say. But today we were toddlers, we were babies that were free to express ourselves and felt very safe with each other to kind of express ourselves so that we kind of give humanity the gift that is within us to make it better.
Thank you so much. I'm not even going to paraphrase what you said. You said it so beautifully. I'm not going to ruin it. Thank you, Kgopuso, and we can't wait to welcome you at Visionary Readers Toastmasters Club. Now I'd like to go to Sarah Lee. Sarah Lee, hi. Please come to the virtual podium and tell us what stood out for you
Hello
and where
again.
can we improve?
So, as I said, it was my first time visiting your club. I actually don't know too much about the club. I understand that either it's a new-ish club or there are many new members at the moment because you're trying to build up your membership. So, from my side, it was just so inspiring to see people take on roles for the first time, put up their hands, and just go with the flow. I think, as someone said a little bit earlier, Toastmasters is such a safe space in which to try out things that we've never tried out before, and nobody ever fails. And it's just an opportunity to put ourselves out there. And I can see that everybody at this club has done it. So I have been tremendously inspired, and a little bit like Erica said earlier, it's also my last Toastmasters meeting for the year, and what a wonderful way to end the year on. So congratulations to you as a club, and I wish you guys all of the best going forward into 2026. And thank you for having included me as part of your meeting.
Thank you so much, Sarah Lee. Let me speak to Kuda. Kuda, I know you come from a different club. Please tell us what stood out for you and where can we improve?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. I really enjoyed the organization of the meeting. I joined early. I saw the preparation. I know the work you did in the background, how you supported me. So I do appreciate the extra effort that you put in the background. The meeting flowed well. I like the energy put in by even the evaluators, those who visited, and just the general flow of the meeting was really good. It was well organized. I know there were some challenges with shifting of the speakers, the table topics master, and the like, but you handled it well. It was really difficult to notice that there were those gaps because everything flowed quite smoothly. So well done. Kudos to you on that.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters, visitors, and guests, thank you for embracing us with your presence this evening. We know it's a Friday night. You could be anywhere else, and yet you chose to be here with us where we learn while we are having fun. I'd like to thank the team members of Visionary Readers. Thank you for always putting up your hands. I cannot give gratitude enough to the participation that you give in in our meetings, and you allowing me to challenge you with every role, every speech that needs to be prepared and presented. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And as we go separate ways, and this is our last meeting, firstly, I would like to say if you're traveling, please be safe. And let's meet again next year, all fired up, ready to complete our pathways. I would like to hear a level 5 speech before March in 2026. So I'll be challenging you guys, and I will be texting and WhatsApping and just pushing you even harder so that we can achieve our DCP goals and we can become a select distinguished club. With that, I would like to say thank you again. This has been Gratitude in Motion, literally, for the year of 2025, being the VPE of Visionary Readers. Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye. Good night,
Good night.